Let's talk about the race to be the next mayor of New York City. While many of the Democratic candidates are looking to defund the police, our next guest wants to refund the police, giving the NYPD more money. Crime in the city was a main point in last night's very heated Republican mayoral debate between Fernando Mateo and Curtis Sliwa. Joining us right now, Republican mayoral candidate Curtis Sliwa. Nice to have you back on Good Day.
Oh, it's homecoming because, you know, for 10 years I was on Good Day Early Call New York. And in fact, I love the dance music. On my birthday that I celebrated on one of the morning shows, I did my EDM special, electronic dance music, which I love. So go, Rosanna, go with that.
All right, Curtis, let's talk a little bit about last night, because everybody's talking about what a show it was last night. What happened with you and Fernando Mateo? I mean, you guys used to be friends, and last night it was a lot of name calling.
Well, I think Fernando Mateo is a de Blasio Republican, and he tries to distance himself, and then he gets all exercised and bent out of shape. Remember, he went out and he illegally raised campaign contributions from the man who has single-handedly destroyed this city that we all love. Bill de Blasio has destroyed this city, and he won't acknowledge that, Fernando, and he wants to represent the Republican Party. But when I announced on March 15th, and I was the last candidate to announce, I noticed that none of the candidates at that time were talking about refund the police, hiring more police, and keeping qualified immunity. Now, all of a sudden, some of them, like Eric Adams and Yang, they've had an epiphany. But they haven't gone the whole 9 yards like Curtis Sliwa. They still want the cops not to have qualified immunity, which is so important. Every other civil servant and elected official has it, judges, district attorneys. That means cops have to take personal responsibility for their actions. They have to get their own insurance policy now every time they move in physically during an altercation, because they're doing their job and they're saving our lives in some instances.
All right, I got to bring it up since, you know, I just saw one of your 15 cats go by. I mean, you two fought like cats and dogs last night, but you really want to save cats and dogs with some animal party. What's that all about?
Well, that was Apollo, our patriarch, who just passed by. He was eyeballing you, Rosanna, to make sure you weren't giving me the maluka. But I am the only candidate who will also be running on an animal welfare line. First time ever in the general election with one issue: no-kill shelters. I raised with my wife, Nancy, in a studio apartment, 325 square feet here on the Upper West Side with one turlet, 15 rescue cats, all of whom would have been euthanized in the shelter system, animal shelter system of New York. They're only given 72 hours. People don't understand this. When you turn in an animal to animal care and control, that's what they call it, or an animal is found in the streets, unwanted, they only have 72 hours. And if nobody claims them, even if Governor Cuomo called, you know, like out of the old black and white movie, and said, I want a reprieve for Tuxedo Cat 3246, they would tell him, Gov, if you don't make it down here by 12 midnight, muerte. The cat is dead. And that's going to stop. Los Angeles has no-kill shelters. Austin has no-kill shelters. And on day one, I will sign an executive order. We will never kill a dog, cat, or another animal again in our shelter system. We will find people to adopt them out to. That is such a barbaric policy.
You know, Curtis, I'm thinking you're in a pretty tight studio with 15 cats. If you do win the primary and the election, what are you going to do with Gracie Mansion? You got a whole lot of rooms there.
Oh, Rosanna, cats indoors and all the dogs I love outdoors, because the animal shelter is in East Harlem. We'll go there every day. And when they have the kill list, we'll say, you're not killing any of our friends. And we will take them to Gracie Mansion. And by the way, Rosanna, let's be honest, a lot of people watching now, how many people would rather be with their dogs or cats than their children, grandchildren, nieces, husband, wives, grandparents?
You may have a point, Curtis. You may have a point. You and the mayor have not gotten along since day one. I mean, you've brought meatballs outside Gracie Mansion. He said last night he's not going to watch to see what you guys have to say about turning around this city. What will you look for to turn around New York City? And will you be looking for any kind of evidence when you move into Gracie Mansion if you get that chance?
Oh, absolutely. By the way, the mayor is probably too busy on the back porch smoking his Maui Wowie and Hindu Kush. Guy's always late for everything. He would have been late for watching the debate. But you know Thrive. And Rosanna, you did a great job asking questions about where's the money? Where's the money? $1.25 billion supposedly that would go to help emotionally disturbed persons that we see everywhere in the parks, the streets, and the subways. I will launch an immediate investigation through the Department of Investigation, subpoena the records that Scott Stringer didn't do, Tish James didn't do, Corey Johnson didn't do, and look to where all the money went. Look, I'm down in the subways. I'm the only candidate who rides the subways, and I deal with these troubled souls every day. They need to be physically removed, put into mental care hospitals, and given their medicine, along with the homeless people, also lost souls who have drug and alcohol addictions and emotional issues. We're going to take them to shelters, and these shelters are going to have services to get them rehabbed from their drug addiction, their alcohol addiction, and we'll deal with their emotional issues. Look, I'm going to crack down on crime. Everybody knows for 42 years that's what I've done with the Guardian Angels. But there's nobody more compassionate than me when it comes to the emotionally disturbed, the homeless, and especially our friends, the dogs and cats that we live with and are out in the streets.
All right, so I may have a vested interest, but, you know, restaurants, heart and soul of the economic engine in New York City, and we have these outdoor structures right now, and you want to see them taken down. Why?
The Quonset huts, they got to go. I want restaurants to be what they were before. Now, outdoor dining, maybe with some seats and tables, they can share a sidewalk. But not the Quonset huts. I mean, look at it, Roseanne. You walk to and from your studios and 67 between the city bike racks and the Quonset huts. There's nowhere to park. And then you got to go to a parking lot and take a reverse mortgage just to spend an hour or two. Look, that's got to stop. And then they want to jam us with congestion pricing. That's why I got to become the next mayor, because it's common sense. You go to Curtis Sliwa for mayor.com, Rosanna, and you can see everything I stand for. Curtis Sliwa for mayor.com, and I'll straighten this city out. You talk about crime, we'll have safe streets, safe subways, safe parks, like I created with the Guardian Angels in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s before Rudy Giuliani was elected and did the job as mayor of the city of New York.
All right, Curtis Sliwa, always great talking to you. I just want to know, do you have any plans for any more cats in the next few days?
Yes, my wife looks at the kill list. They actually have what they call a kill list. And every time she sees these furry little creatures in danger, she turns to me and Nancy says, "Can we, Curtis?" I say, "Go for it."
So you may be taking in another cat or two in the next few days.
I think we're going to get up to 20. And, you know, I may get a double hernia from changing the litter 3 times a day, but it's worth it.
Does it smell in your apartment? Just curious.
Excuse me?
Does it smell in your apartment?
I got to tell you, I can't wait to hear your choices, your iHeart choices for dance music. You know, I want nightlife completely opened up.
Let's do it, Curtis.
Electronic dance music, concerts, and impresarios and performances.
I think you and Fernando should have a dance-off. That would really settle this whole thing.
Oh, I can outdo him with merengue, bachata, salsa. I got it in me, Rosanna. Anyone who's ever seen me knows that I'm a whirling dervish.
Curtis Sliwa, thank you so much for talking with us this morning. We appreciate it.
My pleasure, Rosanna. Anytime. Have me back.
All right.